Tara and Andy's film reviews on OurGamers.co.uk.
Hiya, Tara Malik here, and
it's me, Andy Baines.
And this time we're talking about Baby Driver for this week's film review.
Yes, we are.
Okie dokie. So, classified 15, this film. Director is Edgar Wright, who also happens to be the guy who wrote it as well. Starring in this film, we've got Ansel, Elgort, John Bernthal, John Hamm. There's actually quite a few famous faces in this one. There's also Lily James, obviously. Kevin Spacey makes a bit of an appearance, and a few other famous faces too. The genre for this film is action, crime, music. Running time is just under 2 hours. It's 1 hour and 52 minutes. And in brief, after being coerced into working for a crime boss, a young getaway driver finds himself taking part in a heist doomed to fail. Ooh.
Spoiler.
So, I'm going to tease you with this now. 4DX. I'll get into it later. I'm just going to leave you with that thought right now. But first, Andy, let's talk about shots for this film, because it's quite a big and epic thing, to be quite honest.
It really is. It was great. They were great. Every shot, I've made a note of throughout the notes or throughout watching the film. I've made so many notes, and they're all good.
Yeah.
Every shot comment is...
There's a lot of thought put into the shots.
Yeah, love this long shot. Love that impressive shot. And the way they included it with the visuals was great. It's just, I've made so many notes, and they're all saying how great the shots are. So, hands off.
It was just the style of this film, it worked really well for the whole story and what they were going for in the theme, but the style was just so nice. I really enjoyed it.
It was.
I really enjoyed it.
Everything was great regarding it.
Yeah, so when you come out of it, you're like, I really enjoyed that. As we've mentioned, loads of long sort of one-take shots. It works again really well for the film. It's very involved. You just kind of think that, if they mess up, they've got to redo the whole thing again. So it's a lot harder, obviously. I wrote a note near the start of the film. One long shot already, crazy, loads to set up and get right, and a lot of work put into it.
I'll agree. That's the sort of thing you can see them sometimes where they make changes between two shots and actually make it look like one.
Yeah.
This looked legitimately one shot. And
how it pans to follow the character and spin round. But it's also things that were in the shot that were really cleverly put there as well.
It had to be the right time and stuff.
Yeah, because there were certain keywords and stuff that you'd find on the wall that would match the lyrics. So it's like that subconscious thing that they're trying to get into your head sort of thing. The shots fit the music really well. And the shots were just really, really, really nicely done. So
during action shots, they were great. I know action is another topic, but yeah.
Yes. But that's all I've got for shots.
Same.
Cool.
Feet tapping.
Oh,
you know, every comment I made about a shot that was great. There was a little shot where it was just some feet tapping to some music, but the way it was shot was just can't complain. I mean, it fit completely.
Yeah. It's so effective because the shot's also in the trailer, and I loved it in the trailer itself. And then obviously you kind of expect, it's going to happen when they get to that bit, and you're like, oh, and it does, and it's just one of those things. That's what I mean. From start to finish, this was such an artistically wonderfully done film. It was an absolute joy to watch and also be part of. Hence 4DX, which we'll get into. But for now, speaking of music and foot tapping, it's time to go into soundtrack. And this film, hence one of the genres is music. It is a very heavily music-based film, on the beat with a lot of things like the movements, the actions, the shots that we mentioned. It's a nice style and some good tunes. Really good tunes in this.
Yeah, they were great. The music, again, I've got comments on it, and it was all completely fitting, completely, made sense. Just even Barry White during a scene that was a bit serious for a kind of love song, kind of made sense though. It was just perfect. The
song choices were just perfect, and again, it was I don't know, it's almost like vintagey. It was just so nice.
Yes, it was a little bit in the past, wasn't it?
Yeah, exactly. And the poster is a painted version sort of thing, so you kind of get that olden film feel. It is set. It is present day.
Yeah, it's a little bit in the past, if anything.
A little bit, but yeah, it's still close to now, and I don't know, it really worked. It really worked.
The soundtrack kind of makes sense, I guess, to be older, because with Guardians of the Galaxy, he only had that iPod with the music, whereas this one, he grew up listening to older songs.
Yeah, exactly.
With his parents and stuff, so that's why it makes sense that he likes this kind of music.
Yeah. And music is such a massive aspect for the character and hence the film, so there you go. Story time for that. Let's move on. Way better than I expected. Can I just
I'll agree.
say that? Like, that film, I saw the trailer and I was like, I bopped obviously to the foot tapping bit. But I don't know, I just didn't get any sort of like great vibes. I just thought generically, oh, okay, yeah, it's one worth to see, give it a review. And then we saw it and I walked out and I was like, oh my goodness, this film was actually really good.
Yeah, same. I went in with no hopes at all. No hopes. I
like,
didn't
no
expect much. Yeah, I didn't expect much of the story. I didn't expect much of the action. The cast,
it just didn't come across in the trailer. Like, you just didn't, I don't know. Like, you knew it was with the music and the guy and the driving and there's a bit of action and some car chase scenes and there's a little love story going on, but you just, I don't know, like, way better than I thought.
It was funny, enjoyable, interesting and serious.
Well. Yeah, I know. There's humour, as you said. I've got really enjoyable here as well. Also, can I just point out, there's literally one predictable bit in this film, which you can see coming because you warned me. But the rest of it, can I just say, not as predictable as I thought. Every time I thought, right, that's the choice that they're going to make and this is going to be the outcome, you know what's going to happen to this character, you know what's going to happen. Didn't. So, and it wasn't just once, it happened a few times. So well done them. I guessed it wrong quite a few times. I don't know if it happened to you, Andy, but I know that for me.
Oh yeah, it wasn't predictable.
I kept thinking, right, that's clearly the choice that the writers are going to take and the director and the actor. Like, and no, it didn't. Even up until the end. Like, I still got it wrong. And I'm glad I did, because my ending's not as good. So that's why I'm not the writer.
It was a good escalation as well.
Yes.
Yeah. The way it built up and it eased you into things, and it went up a bit, and then got slowed down a little bit again.
Need to make a quick little note, like with the character.
Ooh.
I know. you carry on, because that just reminded me of something. That was pretty much it.
I mean, you do find out a little bit about the past, so you do get a bit of backstory, which was nice, and the way the film just sort of escalates, and then just finishes. It's all great. I'm no way you can complain about it.
It's just a great journey to go on, a proper nice journey to go on for this film.
We haven't got a section for pace, but
didn't notice it. It was just brilliant, especially with the music. Like, it just all worked so well.
Really did.
Definitely a recommended film that I would say to go see.
Oh, yeah.
And Andy as well. I can see that you're the same thing.
No, I've recommended it loads already.
And I think you've basically said the same things, but I wrote, ooh. Oh no, I wrote, hold on, there's a different ooh. There's a, ooh, what's this all about? And then I wrote, ooh, suspense, build up, tension. You get on the edge quite well with this film. Funny emotional moments too. It's like, you get, it's nice. It's that balance of, oh, let's have a bit of a chuckle because there's going to be this funny section. And it really works. And then it gets proper serious. And it's like, whoa, this can be life-changing. And there was a bit of a weird turn at one point, which was like, please explain this to me. But overall, a really good story, so can't complain.
Good.
Action, which you get quite a bit of in this film, so sit back and enjoy, that's for sure. Really good car chases.
Yes. Yeah, really good. All round the chases, even when they're not on cars.
No.
Yeah, there was a foot chase or two in there that were also quite impressive and well done.
Yeah.
It was hard to separate this from shots because the shots played such a good thing.
Yeah.
Also, the soundtrack came into the chases quite a bit.
Yeah.
Obviously, being a car racing, chases and stuff. But yeah, it just all blended so well together. And like,
there's obviously that one car stunt that's really amazing from the trailer where there's that lorry backing out and the car spins through the gap and stuff like that.
Yes.
So you kind of know this is going to probably have some really good car bits in it. And I did write, like, my first note was really good car chases. That was quite early on. And not long after that, I wrote great car chases and action scenes. So it's definitely, if you're into your action, your car stunts and all that sort of stuff, fast-paced bits, this is definitely a film to go check out for sure. And 4DX, I'm going to mention that again with the action. So, of course, we'll get into that in the not too distant future. I know I keep teasing you with it. It probably sounds like for the eggs. That's really what I'm saying, for the eggs. Because if you know me, I'm quite obsessed with food. No, 4DX. We'll get into that though. First, cast. Oh my goodness.
Yes.
Brilliant.
Very impressive.
Absolutely brilliant cast. Great performances all round. There's good chemistry between them as well. You've got your couples in this, obviously the two main lovebirds, but there's also another couple in there, a crime couple, that it just like, and it worked so well.
They really did work together. That's a good point. I didn't make a note of them specifically, but yeah, you're right.
Yeah, because it's not just that couple, it's the other couple as
well.
The
chemistry between them.
I know. It's so believable. And the backstories and all that sort of stuff. And then the note that you reminded me on with with the whole escalation of things, there's also the characters, like, there's bonding, but there's also breaking up of things as well. And it's so interesting to see turning points in characters, tipping points and turning points. But you'll definitely spot it within the film when you go see it. But it's just so interesting to see how dynamics completely change between characters through certain events and all that sort of stuff, where you thought it's like an unbreakable bond maybe, and then things happen. So very interesting. I like it a lot.
Good.
Anything else?
How'd you say his name?
Ansel Elgort.
That guy. He never really impressed me too much before.
Point.
He was in Allegiant, Insurgent, Divergent.
Yeah, he's in that series of films.
That's pretty much the only thing I know him from.
And Fault in Our Stars.
Oh yeah, of course.
Which is where
he was in that as well.
He did a really great performance in that. Don't get me wrong, but it was nothing. I don't know. Like the film came and went.
He didn't come across as an actor to sort of keep an eye on, as such.
Especially in the Divergent series.
Yeah, his character wasn't great. Was it?
Oh gosh, and the way it runs.
But
oh my gosh.
In this, he's great. I can't complain. He's very impressive as an actor. The character was a great fit for him. It worked so well. I look forward to seeing him in other stuff now.
Obviously the look is perfect, which is what they always look for when they cast people, and he's got that cute baby face, but he's got that edge to him as well, and it just works so perfectly for the character. He's got that little cheeky grin, so it's definitely one to look out for sure.
Definitely.
And his performance stands out so much in this film.
Obviously, Kevin Spacey's in this, and he was great as usual.
He was brilliant.
What you expect from Kevin Spacey was what you got, and he again, he's a great actor. He's been in so many things. From like some of the early things I know him from are like a Negotiator and Unusual Suspects, stuff like that. He hasn't changed. He's still Kevin Spacey, but he's still doing such a great job at different roles and slightly similar characters, maybe. But obviously, it's what he does best.
Yeah. John Hamm, just to point out, his performance in this was brilliant as well. It's just an overall great cast, isn't it?
Yeah.
And what was his name? I can't remember his name. The really funny guy. Jamie Foxx.
Oh,
Jamie Foxx.
Sorry, you're saying funny guy. I was trying to think which one was funny. He was crazy more than funny. Sorry.
Yeah, but then there's the script. Like, we haven't really mentioned the script, but the script obviously only worked so well because the delivery of these characters, like these actors did such a great job with the delivery of the lines for the characters that it came across really good. So Jamie Foxx again gets he ticks all the boxes there. So happy days. Right. Speaking of eggs, we weren't talking about eggs, but hey, for the eggs.
That's a thing now.
Every time. Can I just mention it was Andy's fault because I said 4DX and I was so excited, and he said, I thought you were talking about 4 the eggs.
Yeah, you were so quick in your
but
statement of it.
It did sound like it though, didn't it? So anyway, 4DX is the next big thing. So we've recently had a bit of a renovation at our local Cineworld Cinema in Basildon. Festival Leisure Park to be specific, and we now have a 4DX screen, and I was like, ooh, what's all this about? I mean, we had the impact sort of screen, which I believe is now called Super Screen or something like that, and we had, the next biggest thing was IMAX. So I was like, how can you top this one, right? Well, now they have a 4DX screen, so I know, right? So IMAX was all about, you can either watch a film or be part of one. Or, how about you go sit in a 4DX one, get sprayed, get snowed on, get tossed about a little bit. So you really, really, really are immersed into the film. The movement, the action, whatever's going on, if there are gunshots, if you're in a car chase, hence why this film was absolutely perfect for it. Now, my fingers and toes were crossed for the whole 4DX experience because, let's be real for a second, my belly can't cope with being tossed about a bit, okay? So I was a bit unsure and apprehensive and worried that I wouldn't be able to handle it. I sat through the whole thing. I felt like I should have had a gold star at the end. I was so proud of myself.
You did impress me and the staff there.
And the staff, I know. I was warned. I was like, if you do need to go to the toilet quickly, it's out and turn left straight away.
That's the closest toilet to yeah.
But no, I was fine. I was absolutely fine. So it's not as bad as I thought it was going to be. And it was my first time going to go see 4DX. As I said, this film was fantastic for it. The 4DX complemented the film and vice versa. It was not overdone. There was enough calm to recover from things. I obviously sat through the whole thing. Didn't feel dodgy at the end. That absolutely says a lot. So obviously you can go test this out for yourself as well. You're not allowed to bring hot drinks with you, which they warn you about. There's like a whole list of things to like, you know, be prepared for. And if you're...
most of it's common sense.
Yeah. So... you know, just be careful of things. The water you can turn off if you want to turn it off. The seats are set in 4 at a time. So, like, there's a section of 4 seats joined together. So, there's no way of, like, turning off your seat for movement if you wanted that. But, you know, so just bear in mind that your seat is kind of connected to another 3. And it's a whole combined thing that's moving. There's rumbling, obviously spraying. The new thing they mentioned is going to be snow, which is for War of the Planet of the Apes. No, War for the Planet of the Apes. I get that wrong every time. There's moving, there's jerking, there's
for example, for this film, there was vibrations during the engines rumbling.
Oh, it was
there
so
was
good.
bouncing to the music, which I actually really enjoyed as someone who enjoys soundtracks and bobbing along. That was great. There was some slow motion with camera, like rocking and rotating us around while the camera was moving around. Now, I didn't think that would be that impressive, but hats off if it
I have
to
admit,
sense.
I loved every part of the experience. The only thing I seemed to not enjoy as much, just personally for me, was the slow tilting. That kind of messed with me a little bit and made me feel a bit but everything else was fine with the spraying, the moving. Towards the end, I was like proper flying in my seat.
Yep,
like my fringe actually flew all over the place. So I was like, hold on, I can't see what's going on.
You made a comment earlier about being on the edge of your seat, and I was going to say, not while the 4DX is going on. You don't want to be there.
No, but
you launched off.
You actually do get. I giggled so much. I don't know what it was. Like, it just made me laugh so much that I was getting thrown about so much for this film.
It all made sense though, didn't it? For the action on the screen, it actually made sense. Now, the way I've started every conversation about when someone's asked me about 4DX, first thing I say was, I thought it was going to be a bit of a gimmick. I didn't think it would bring that much to the film.
No, it definitely did.
Any film sort of thing.
Yeah.
The first thing I say is that. The next thing I say is I was wrong. I really enjoyed it. I don't know if it made the film better. I don't know if the film made the 4DX better, but it really worked.
It's hard to... And also, as I said, like, I thought I really couldn't sit through more than half an hour of this because I thought I just would get queasy. And it was I was loving it. It was absolutely fine. When the credits came up, I was like, oh wow, I actually sat through the whole thing. People were eating as well, so you can eat if you want to. But if you are someone like myself who might be a little bit like unsure,
or if you get thrown around in a chair because you're tiny.
I was proper flung all over the place. I needed a seatbelt, to be quite honest, ironically. But yeah, so like maybe don't eat too heavily. I would recommend maybe not eating too heavily before the film if you're going to go see anything in 4DX. There's also what's it called, like air pumps. They like blow out air and all that sort of stuff. So like if there's like gunshots whizzing past you, that's what that's supposed to be.
There is
basically the chair farts on you. It's like really funny.
Without the smell. Leading on to smells though, there are smells for the film.
Oh yeah,
burning rubber smells and stuff like that.
But it's nothing overpowering.
Oh no, and it fit. I thought this was going to be a gimmick.
I forgot about that.
They've done such a good job.
It's so effective. It really is.
And there
so
was
effective. I'm like a little kid.
very occasional flashing lights. They didn't overdo that because
that was good as well.
might have. Yeah, they could have overdone that though.
Yeah.
But they didn't. So hats off to them.
Overall, do recommend 4DX for sure. So if you're cinema,
impressive introduction to 4DX. Yeah, it really was.
I am so glad I saw this film as my first experience for 4DX, just because it was just so perfect. It was the right, for me anyway, to like come into this sort of world. So obviously if you can get around to seeing it in 4DX while it's out now, Baby Driver, highly recommend it. But obviously there are other films that are going to be showing that as well. There's going to be War for the Planet of the Apes, and there are quite a few other films as well, I do believe, that are out in it too. So
Spider-Man,
Spider-Man Homecoming.
Despicable Me 3.
Yeah, that's that as well.
Was Cars going to be in
quite
it?
A few. I'm not too sure.
I don't know about that one.
But quite a few films are coming out for this one as well. So yeah, definitely. I'm so surprised. I'm absolutely shocked, but I definitely recommend it. And I wasn't sure at first, you know. So
I have two randoms.
what's your
first
randoms?
one's about the film.
Yes.
The trailer wasn't spoiled. Didn't spoil anything. It was nice that the trailer gave enough information to get you curious about the film, but didn't spoil anything. No. So thanks for that.
Yep.
Second one, I made a note. I've saw this film twice, both times in 4DX. Once on my own, to judge the motion and stuff, and then once with Tara. And
I was like, I'll give it a go.
Yeah, because I was hoping she'd be able to handle it. Now, the first note I made the second visit was, she's grinning. It's a good sign. So, yep, that was the second note.
I was loving it. It was it was literally like a kid getting flung about, but it didn't detract. It wasn't distracting or anything like that. Like, it just really helped with the film. I don't know. My random, safety first. I love how... I just love how they really made a point at one point about making sure everyone's belted up. So, I don't know, I just thought it was quite funny considering the kind of film that it was. And it was like, hold on, seatbelts. So, yes. Okie dokie. Well, I believe that's all the categories, which leaves us now onto the rates. And you go first or I go first?
I made a note on my notes.
You made a note on your notes?
You know, understandably.
Whoa, it's like Inception.
Easily 7 or 8. Now, while chatting about it, I was while I write my notes up so they were legible and actually readable.
That's another thing. Okay, it is so funny trying to make notes when your seat is throwing you all over the place. So yeah, that's a new experience.
It's half my notes I didn't make.
It's like, just scribbles.
Yeah, couldn't understand.
Over scribbles.
Because I'm never writing in the same place and it's throwing me around and stuff. Anyway, it was fun.
Yes.
But yeah, the note I made was 7 or 8. While writing them up, I was thinking 8 or 9. Talking about it, I may go for a 10. I think. The film, and as soon as I walked out of the cinema for the first time after seeing it, it sounded like the first time ever. The first time I saw the film, I'd had a text like 2 days beforehand saying pre-order this film, you know, still book, blah blah blah. And I thought, it's not going to be that great.
Yeah, no
Watched
point.
the film, walked out. The first thing I've done was pre-order it because I do want to see that film again. I do want that in my collection.
You know what you're gonna have to do for me, Andy? Like when we get it here and you stick it on the TV, can you like? I'll sit on the chair. And then you can like move my chair.
Like, no tilting. Tip water on you.
Blow past my ears. Wriggle something between my legs. The way. Okay, no, maybe not that one.
What it is, there's actually a little nozzle down by your legs that blows air between and like moves around a bit.
Yeah.
Now, if you're Tara and have your legs awkwardly placed, you feel it banging against your legs a bit more than I didn't. When for me, I just felt the air blowing past my legs. So.
And something hit me. I was like, "What's going on here?" That's new.
What's your rating?
My rating, yes. So I was straight away an 8 when I walked out. I was an 8 doing, writing this all up. But I think talking about it as well, I might even knock mine up to a 9 just because it was such a surprise of a film, how great it was. The 4DX was absolutely fantastic. So I feel like how can I not rate this film and the overall experience as a 9? Why not?
Good.
So I'm going to go there. The rating it has gotten is an 8.3. Definitely worth a watch. And as I said, if you are unsure about, this whole new 4DX experience, if you happen to be in the area or you are at a cinema that has 4DX, consider it. That's all I will say. Don't be put off like I initially was because I was unsure. Give it a go and see how you feel.
Also, I think it was the first one in England to have snow.
Our one, yes.
So I wasn't in this film, but Planet of the Apes will probably use it.
Yeah, it's supposed to be for
so fingers crossed, that's the next one we get to see.
I know. Oh, really want to see it in that.
Until next time.
Yep. Bye-bye for now.
Thanks to Cineworld Festival Leisure Park Basildon for the best experience around.